A wave of concern has swept through the Spanish royal family, and it's a moment of emotional gravity that few expected. As cameras flash at their every move and the eyes of an entire nation observe their public gestures, something far more private, far more intimate, has begun to take hold behind palace doors. Queen Letizia and King Felipe are not just attending their usual royal engagements these days with their standard poise, they are doing so under the heavy cloud of worry for a woman who, for decades, has been the foundation of the Spanish monarchy's grace and continuity, Queen Sofía. The former queen, mother to King Felipe and grandmother to Princesses Leonor and Sophia, has become the quiet center of a storm that has shaken her family to its emotional core. The news, while not yet formally confirmed in detail by the royal household, has triggered deep worry and protective action within Zarzuela Palace. Queen Sofía, known for her composure, discipline, and lifelong devotion to the crown, is facing what insiders are calling a sensitive health situation. And while official sources have kept their lips tightly sealed, whispers from palace staff and those close to the royal inner circle tell a far more troubling story, one that has both Queen Letizia and King Felipe deeply shaken. Letizia, ever the composed journalist-turned-queen, has reportedly put her public commitments on pause or modified them in order to remain close to her husband and mother-in-law. According to royal observers, Letizia's recent public appearances have been marked by a subtle but noticeable shift. Fewer smiles, shortened conversations with the press, and a quiet demeanor that betrays a woman carrying the weight of personal sorrow. Though she is known for her iron discipline and sharp eye for protocol, those close to her say this is different, this is personal. This is family, and in the royal family of Spain, where public and private lines are constantly blurred, this kind of visible emotional strain says more than any official statement ever could. King Felipe, too, has been spotted looking more introspective in recent days. His usual posture of regal calm has shifted to one of palpable emotional reflection. The bond between Felipe and his mother has always been particularly strong, in contrast to the more complicated relationship she shared with former King Juan Carlos. Queen Sofía has long been the emotional glue of the family. Through the scandals, the abdication, the tensions between Letizia and her daughters-in-law, she remained an anchor. And now, with this sudden shadow cast over her health, Felipe is feeling the weight of possibly losing that anchor far sooner than anticipated. Those close to the family speak of an atmosphere of quiet crisis inside Zarzuela Palace. There's an increased frequency of private meetings, more calls to doctors, and a constant presence of close relatives arriving discreetly. The Queen Emerita is said to be surrounded by a very small group of trusted confidants, including her sister Irene of Greece and Denmark, and a few longtime palace staff who have stayed by her side throughout her decades of royal service. It's telling that this circle has remained so intimate, suggesting that the family wants to keep her condition as private and dignified as possible. But no matter how tightly they try to control the narrative, the emotional tension has spilled out into the public eye. Royal journalists in Spain have noticed the subtle cues. The abrupt cancellation of certain public appearances. The decision to restrict press access to events where Queen Sofía would normally have been expected. And most importantly, the shift in tone in official palace communications, less celebratory, more restrained, and unusually silent when it comes to updates on Queen Sofía. These are not accidental details. In the carefully orchestrated world of royal communication, silence can be the loudest message of all. Yet it is not only her health that has drawn attention, but also the emotional toll this is taking on Queen Letizia. Often seen as a modernizing force within the monarchy, Letizia has had her share of critics, particularly during the early years of her royal marriage. However, as time has passed, she has grown into her role with remarkable strength and dignity. And it's in moments like this, when her private concern becomes visible to the public, that she reminds many Spaniards why she has become such a respected queen. She is, after all, a mother, a daughter-in-law, and above all, a human being. And what she is facing now is the universal struggle of watching a beloved elder slowly begin to fade. The relationship between Letizia and Queen Sofía has not always been easy. Sharp differences in generational expectations, royal traditions, and public behavior have marked their interactions for years. The infamous Easter Mass incident where cameras caught a visible tension between the two women remains etched in public memory. But beyond protocol disputes and awkward gestures lies a deeper layer of family complexity, one that is often misunderstood by the public. In recent years, both women have reportedly reached a quiet truce, a deeper understanding that comes with time and maturity. And now, as Queen Sophia's health grows more delicate, Queen Letizia is said to be making every effort to offer support, care, and presence. What makes this moment particularly poignant is the legacy of Queen Sofía herself. Born a Greek princess and married into a country recovering from dictatorship, she became the face of stability during one of Spain's most turbulent periods. Her reign alongside King Juan Carlos helped guide Spain through its transition to democracy, and even as scandals rocked the monarchy in later years, she remained untouched by controversy. Her elegance, discretion, and moral integrity earned her admiration not just in Spain, but across Europe. She is, in many ways, royalty in the truest sense of the word. As the royal family now rallies around her, the public is left watching, waiting, and worrying. Spanish citizens, many of whom grew up seeing Queen Sofía on their television screens and in their newspapers, are now confronted with the fragility of a figure they once thought indestructible. Social media has been flooded with tributes, old photos, and heartfelt messages wishing her well. It's a reflection of the emotional bond that still exists between this quiet queen and the people she served so faithfully. Palace aides have maintained that updates will be given, when appropriate, but those words offer little comfort in a time of emotional urgency. Behind the grandeur of state dinners and ceremonial parades is a family coming to terms with a looming loss, a family that, despite its titles and pageantry, feels the same heartache, the same fear, and the same helplessness as any other. And so we watch, we wait, and we remember. We remember the elegance of Queen Sofía at state events, the warmth of her smile beside her grandchildren, and the strength with which she carried the crown through decades of change. We remember her not just as a royal, but as a symbol of resilience, dignity, and quiet power. And we now witness a new chapter in her story, one defined not by headlines or ceremonies, but by the love and concern of the family she helped build and protect. As the days pass and the silence stretches, one truth becomes undeniable: Queen Letizia and King Felipe are not just royal figures in this moment. They are a son and a daughter-in-law preparing, perhaps, to say goodbye. And that is a story that transcends royalty. It is the story of all families, everywhere, who hold on tightly when the ones they love begin to slip away. So now, we turn the final page in this chapter for today, holding our breath and hoping for the best. But as the Spanish royal family draws closer together in this time of sorrow, one cannot help but ask, how do monarchies face personal loss when the whole world is watching, and what legacy will Queen Sofía ultimately leave behind for the generations to come? Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment below. Let your voice be heard. What does Queen Sofía mean to you, and how do you see the future of the Spanish royal family unfolding?